Okay, welcome to video 7. So in this video, we're going to talk about the difference between acting or thinking like an owner, business owner, nonprofit owner, versus a high value investor. So in particular, I'm talking about when we're transitioning to exit the organization. So a lot of times we won't even think about exiting until we have to, right? Until a family member gets sick, until we have to leave the business because we're forced to because of circumstances beyond our control. And by that point, it's often too late to sell the business for what it's worth and exit in a way that guarantees for what you've built so far to be stewarded by someone who will preserve your mission and preserve your intention. And so the comparison between when we're thinking as owners, right? This is a mode we identify ourselves as just having a business, like I'm having a business or I'm having a nonprofit, like I own it, it's mine. And there's pride in that. But it's like we see ourselves as stuck in it and we're not wanting to give it away, right? There's no intention to give it away. We don't even want to think about that. But a high value investor understands that at some point, this is an asset, right? That what I'm building, what I've created, it is an asset. And so I create it with the intention to one day pass it on, right? And so the high value investor wants the asset to grow, to expand. The high value investor wants it to outgrow them as an owner too. It wants the asset to become bigger than them because it understands that at the end of the day, the vision they were given is greater than themselves. So this is also the mindset a lot of a legacy brand leader that I encourage small business owners and nonprofit founders to take on. I know that small businesses and nonprofits serve the community in such a special way. So to me, it doesn't make sense to not even consider it outgrowing you, right? To not have a vision that outlives you, that can outlive your lifetime, right? So as a high value investor, we want it to expand not only in impact, but of course in numbers. We want it to grow more valuable time. And this is why corporations are so successful, right? I know everyone gripes about corporations, but who are we to gripe when we, small business owners and nonprofit founders, have the capacity to do the same thing? We just have to think that way. And so selling your business, selling a nonprofit, or you don't even have to sell it. There's so many ways you can exit it. And you can plan the exit at the start of business, have the intention, and then decades and decades on, exit it, right? It doesn't have to happen immediately, and that's the beauty of it. But it's so great because there's so many opportunities to exit it in a way that is that serves a vision that you align with. It can be selling it. It can be putting it in a will where it's stewarded by someone. It can be you don't even have to sell it at all, right? There can be no money involved. But I think the most important thing is to preserve the mission and the integrity of it. Because I've also seen business owners who have lost the integrity of their business, and so they were promised by people, by buyers, to preserve it, and then they changed it. They didn't keep good on their word. And it all goes back to the paperwork, to be honest. It all goes back to the legal agreements. It all goes back to that intention. But most importantly, it goes back to building the brand, the business, the nonprofit, and all the systems in a way where it would collapse if the mission is not intact. So that's what's cool about the Legacy Brand Leader Blueprint is everything is mission-based. And so it's such a strong foundation that when it comes time to even making an exit plan or when you're thinking about exiting it, it's going to be so valuable that it's not going to make sense for anyone else to change what you're doing. They can't rebrand it. They can't reroute the vision. They can't reroute the mission because everything was done in a way that retained the mission at the forefront. Does that make sense? So again, that's the beauty of the Legacy Brand Leader Blueprint, and that's why we build the business operations in a particular order to make sure that the foundation is set in such a way that nothing outside can disrupt the value of the mission. So yeah, so that's the whole video series, but thanks for so much for taking the time to watch it and getting to know more about the transformations I know I've had to come to know independently, and the transformations that I've just observed other people who are successful make within themselves. If you want more information or want to learn more about the Legacy Brand Leader Blueprint, or you're just hungry to learn more, I do have books and I have links to them in this description. And I am also on a website called Fluent World, where I am providing consultations. I'm working on getting my website back up. Please bear with me. I did pause from providing services for a bit. So I'm just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, so I'm a little limited right now, but absolutely read my books and find me on Fluent World, and I'll see you around.